Hello, Algebra. It is Mia back again for another great day of online learning. Hopefully, yesterday went okay for everybody. No, 2 days ago, that would be. Um, and we're getting off the ground running here. So, today we are going to move on and do the next part, and that is to solve compound inequalities today instead of just one. You're going to solve a combination. So, if you recall, compound inequalities have two different things that end up happening. They have and they have or. Oh, excuse me, we will make that screen bigger for you. Okay, so the and ones are generally, they don't use the word and in the compound inequality, but they connect them together. So there's really two inequalities, which means there are two different things that you have to solve. And if you recall, we end up splitting them and solving them twice and then putting them back together. So the first one you solve is the left side. 5 is less than x minus 2, okay? And so remember, this is technically a 1 in front of that x, and you can solve this in many ways. This is like a shooter problem. It is also, you can use a chart with it. So I'll do what most of you are most comfortable with, and that's put a 1 in front of that and make a little chart and solve it. So if we do that correctly, what's going to happen is x's go on the left, numbers go on the right. 5 will become negative, 1x becomes negative 1x, and negative 2 comes down. So we end up with, and I ran out of space, negative 1x, keep your inequality the same way, is less than negative 7. And we're going to divide here by negative 1. So we're going to end up with x is greater than positive 7. We had to flip that inequality because we divided by a negative. Now, we also have to do the other side. So on the other side, we still have to solve the right side of the inequality. So we really have now 1x minus 2, and I know I'm going to run out of space, so I'm going to put it up here. 1x minus 2 is less than or equal to 11. And again, you can do this as a shooter problem or a chart. So this time I'll use it as a shooter problem. So this would be your door. 11 is already safe. 1 is in the headlock, and negative 2 will be the first to get out. So we get that out by adding 2 on each side. So 1x is less than or equal to 13. And then we divide out this 1 technically, and we get x is less than or equal to 13. So we end up with two inequalities. You can solve this side with a chart as well. And remember, when we did this specifically for the and ones and we gave our final answer, we wanted the lower limit to be first, okay? So the smaller number here is 7. So 7 goes on the left. The larger number we came out with, our answer was 13. X goes in the middle for and so on the 7 one, the alligator is eating the X, so we want to make sure that happens here. And on the 13 answer, the alligator would be eating the 13, and that's how you put it back together, and that's your final answer. Remember, when we graphed those were the ones that went inward like this, and they connected. And on the homework, the assignment, there are graphs on there, but you don't have to do them because there's no way for me to grade them. Okay, let's try another one. So same thing, you know this is an and question because they're connected, okay? And so what you're going to do is solve each side again. So starting with the left side, we're going to solve 3 is less than or equal to 2x minus 3. Again, you can use the shooter problem or the chart here. Most of you are more comfortable with the chart, so I'm going to do that. 3 becomes negative 3, 2x becomes negative 2x. This negative 3 comes down, and you get negative 2x is less than or equal to negative 6. And then we still have to go one more step, and that is to divide by negative 2 to get rid of that and divide by negative 2. So you have to flip the inequality because you divided by a negative. So x is greater than or equal to 3 on this side. The other side now, it's a similar process. So now you have 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to 12. Okay, again, you can chart this if you want to. I'm doing it both ways to address all learners here. So this one, I'm going to do the shooter problem. 12 is already safe. Negative 3 would be the first to get out, so we will do the opposite and add 3. So now I have 2x is less than or equal to 15. And then I am going to divide the 2 out. And x is less than or equal to, and I just realized I got a decimal here, and that's okay. Sometimes that'll happen. On the homework paper, you will not have any decimals. I don't believe. I will double check. Okay, so again, let's start with our lower limit here. Our lower limit is going to be the 3. That's the lowest. And our upper limit is the 7.5. We will put x in the middle. On the 3, the alligator is eating the x, so we'll make sure it does on our answer. And the alligator is eating the 7.5 over here, and boom, that is our compound inequality answer. That means that the answer is going to fall between 3 and 7.5 is what that's telling you. Again, if we were to graph it, the graph would be going inward, okay? The other thing is the or, and the or will have the word in it. And again, you're going to do the same thing, only it's already separated for you, and your answer will also have an or. And if you remember when we graphed these, they went outward, away from each other in the graph. Whoa. Okay, sorry, can't very much see my hands there. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. Okay, so we're going to solve each of these. Remember, there is a 1 in front of this x here, okay? And so if I solve this left side, I'll do as I have been doing. I don't even have to rewrite it right now because it's already separate. So I'm going to do the left side in a chart since I've been doing those. So here's x's, here's numbers. 5 becomes negative. Negative 1x would stay, and 4 stays positive. So that gives me negative 1x is less than negative 1. And then I'm going to divide by negative 1, which means I'm going to have to change the inequality. So I have x is greater than negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. And on this side over here, if I wanted to do a chart, I could, but it's going to do me no good. We're already to the bottom of that chart. There is nothing to move around. 35 would already be safe, so we have to divide the 7. So if I divide 7 here and divide 7 here, and I'm dividing by a positive, so no flipping needed, x is greater than 5. And so now when we rewrite our final answer, it is simply this. X is greater than 1, or x is greater than 5. And if you think about that, let's see, these do end up pointing the same way. So it's one or the other though, because it's this guy starts at the 5. So that's what you get, and you want to write the or in the middle. All right, last but not least, solving another or. So again, they're already separated for you, so I will start this one with a t-chart like I have been doing on the left side. X stays here, number over here. 5x comes down, 3 becomes negative, 7 stays negative. I end up with 5x is less than or equal to negative 10. I'm going to divide by a positive 5, which means I'm going to keep my inequality facing the same way. X is less than or equal to negative 2. The other side, okay, so the other side I'm going to do as well. This side I'll do as a shooter problem, okay? So negative 8 is safe, and we need to get out, negative 6 is going to get out first. So we add to do the opposite, and so that cancels out. Negative 2x is greater than now negative 2. We're going to divide by negative 2 to get that one out. And since we divided by a negative, we flip the inequality, so x is less than 1. And so your final answer literally is this. X is less than or equal to negative 2. Or x is less than 1. And that's how you write your final answer. Ooh, I circled it here. I should probably have circled it up here too as well. Okay, so hopefully that's a good little refresher for you and enough to get you through the 4 problems that I selected for us. Wow, okay, look at that going through my window. And so you can get your stuff done and turn it in. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Have a good rest of your day. Love you guys and miss you. All right, this is my favorite part when I can't find where to stop the video.